Hello, Joe.
Exciting times at DeFi Lunch Cafe, huh?
Is it?
Well, I'm
Is
having
that your
fun
new
at my end of
sponsor
the
on your hat?
restaurant.
Is that your
Oh
new
yeah, Lecoq Sportif
sponsor?
is well, Lecoq Sportif decided to pick us up, man.
Have you seen fucking David Sachs on All In podcast? These guys are so.
I can't even look at his tweets.
He's
I'm
such a
like,
piece of shit. I'm sorry, everybody that loves him, but I
but
fucking can't
he's just
stand him.
saying stuff to provoke, to
Well,
get
no,
more.
he's a Peter Thiel motherfucker. He's a burn the whole fucking democracy down, put in a dictator of my choice, DeSantis now, and let's make the world I want as a multi millionaire VC.
Yeah. Well, that's the
And,
scary, twisted shit. Yeah, I agree.
yeah, and today he's trying to kill irony because he's like criticizing some geopolitical guy that he likes, and accuses the person posting it as operating like opposition research, only bringing in the shit that makes their point. And I'm thinking, isn't that what you do on this show every fucking week? Anyway, I
It's called
tweeted that to him.
advocacy. It's called
Yeah,
advocacy.
look, we all are trying to manipulate public opinion, right? And he more than anybody else, but he has outsized power. The thing that pisses me off on that show is the checks to him are the other three guys. They let him run and make up bullshit. And then anyway, look, there are some points he makes. I listen to that show. I try to have an open mind because I think there's some really brilliant stuff coming out. All those guys on the show. It's actually, I've learned a shit ton listening to that show.
Yeah.
So I like the show. I wish Sachs would take an approach of a little less partisan or a little less, whatever.
Pro-Russian.
So,
You mean pro-Russian?
Pro-Russian,
Pro-Putin.
burn
Pro-Putin is
down.
the way we should say it, really.
And pro-Trumper Republicans. I mean, that's what he is.
Because
those
he knows
are all that's
the
his
same
vehicle.
thing, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Bought and sold. Tulsi
I mean,
Gabbard.
this is the thing I have with a lot of influencers is that, I mean, do people not really realize what's going on here? That, when you say certain things, then certain accounts follow you and then advertising revenue comes to them. If I was running a PSYOP campaign, the first thing I would do would be attack these platforms, because you can really shape the message and incentivize. All the incentivizations are to build closed propaganda networks. And that's what I find appalling. And people don't recognize that. So when you look at what the funding that was going on by, Putin, and let's not forget ex-KGB, we all studied the KGB playbook back in the day, ruthless and great at information warfare. And so all of this is just KGB 101 stuff. And I just find it that we've sort of allowed ourselves to get influenced by, what is essentially Russian propaganda. I mean, when I see like Sean Hannity and Tulsi circulating on what is that propaganda network, RT, and then Kremlin cheerleaders playing clips of them to show the Russian public that, and it's portrayed as like, that they're in line or loyal to like, this Russian strategy that's going on. And I find it pretty just disturbing. But it goes on everywhere. It's not just, I'm not just picking on those guys because, everybody's playing that game. I mean, I even saw like that, quietly, you find all these like fake accounts that are sort of controlled by, let's say one government department and, pick a country, and they amplify issues. I mean, who wouldn't be doing that? I mean, anybody that's in a little group, they sort of like each other's stuff and retweet each other's stuff. Well, you got 10,000 people doing that. I mean, you could pretty much shape the discussion, and that goes on. And I just find these guys that have 500,000 followers or 20 million followers, it just seems like a mistake to me. Long term, it's not a decision that's going to age well, as they say, or not a tweet that's going to age well.
Exactly.
So I'm just kind of disappointed in it. But hey, do what you're going to do, man. If you want to stick a gun in your mouth, go ahead.
All right. I love it. Niblet says Renee DeResta has spent years studying these networks. She is awesome.
Yeah, no, I know where Niblets went to graduate school. If he wants to share that, it's a great school, but they have a lot of really big time innovative thinkers in those areas. Remember, Pittsburgh is pretty close to Pennsylvania is pretty close to like New York, DC, and those areas. So I'd expect, I'd love to talk more about that in the future, Niblets.
Niblets has got it going on, man. I love waiting for a tweet from him after I tweet something. It's awesome. Hey, let me share a screen real quick. Look at this. This is pretty cool. What's his name? Let me find it because I don't want to Yesterday, I got to give credit because yesterday I was quoting that Treasure DAO tweet and I never gave credit to the guy that tweeted it. I did online and had a discussion going back, but watch this. So this is Sifu's Ethereum address. Oh, it didn't work. Oh, dude, what the hell? Let me go back to the tweet. Let me look at the original tweet.
If the glove don't fit, you must acquit.
That sucks. Crypto Gucci tweeted this out today that Ethereum wallet balances automatically show up in Google searches, but I'm not getting that. Is there like a keyword I got to put in? No.
Doesn't look like it.
No. What the fuck?
Maybe put the wallet and then put etherscan.io with it and see if it pulls it all together. Because they're pulling it from etherscan.io. Maybe the first time. And see what happens.
Nope.
Or still no.
Nope.
But then if you click that button, boom, it goes there.
Yeah, but I want to see it in the search results.
Yeah.
So that's rather, I should have tested this before I got on the show, but by the way, if you don't follow at Crypto Gucci, you should, if you're interested in keeping up to date with everything Ethereum. He's an Ethereum maximalist. And he keeps up. I don't know how he keeps up because he keeps up with the awesome threads and a newsletter, I think now, because he's worried about getting banned of Ethereum news. Great follow. Highly recommend it.
Crypto Gucci.
Crypto Gucci. He does throw out the occasional religious tweet, but he's very just, Jesus loves you stuff. So.
Oh yeah, he's following me already. Okay.
All right. Good for you.
No, he's not. He's not. I'm not going to misrepresent, dude. I'm just joking.
Oh, misrepresent. Look, he does follow me though. Now he occasionally quotes. He occasionally tweets about guests I have on the show, and he'll point to the show. So yeah. Oh, got a guest booked. A really cool new service in a group that I'm in on Telegram. One of the guys in the group is launching a project that's really cool. So we'll talk about that more, but he's going to come on with us this week or next, I think. So
well, good.
Yeah, I want to start booking more guests. I really want to get more people.
Yeah, I got to get off my ass on that too.
Chit-chatting with us. So anyway, this is old news, and we actually briefly mentioned it, but I didn't realize this was US. If you got your crypto in FTX, you can now get a debit card to spend against it. So if it's not a big hodl you're doing, you got your stablecoin stake there. Great way to put them in. Now, I have no idea, what the conversion or fees are like in there. So, do your own research. I haven't climbed into it to look in FTX to see what it takes to qualify. But it is available for US. So I'm assuming that's FTX US, not FTX.com. But anyway, that's a handy service.
Yeah. Nice.
I mean, it's not revolutionary, but it's just handy, and I like the exchange. We'll come back to that in a little bit. Oh, well, I was going through the most recent fundings on DeFi Llama, and saw this one, Moon Mortgage, somebody that's doing crypto mortgages. So, and I love this quote from the guy that built it. No bank would touch me with a 10-foot pole, so I built Moon Mortgage, which is great. You got to love that kind of inspiration for it. Average loan amount is 1.6 million ETH. Average close time, 14 days.
Do we know what the collateral ratio is?
I don't. Let me see if it gives any details. I just opened this before the show.
Yeah, no, this is what we do, man.
Assets are 100% secure, as transparent. Never stop innovating. We're here for you. Oh, join the wait list. Okay, so they're not disclosing all the details yet, I don't guess.
I mean, because look, what are they really competing with here? They're competing with Alchemix and Liquidity and groups like that, where you can go in and stake and borrow against at, probably, I'm guessing, lower collateralization levels.
Yeah.
I'm guessing this is going to, well, here we go. Avoid taxable events. All right, this is going to get interesting here. All right.
Well, because you're borrowing instead of selling to get cash to buy the house, right?
Got it. So you're, not a tax event on the actual crypto.
On the crypto, because you're not selling it to buy the house.
Makes sense.
You're borrowing against it. Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay.
You still maintain ownership and full exposure to the market's ups and downs, ultra low liquidation, because we take a traditional lien against the property. Oh, so very low, I would assume, liquidation levels as they're stating, because they are actually acting like a regular mortgage.
So they're first lien. Yeah.
Taking the lien on the property. That's cool.
I mean, if it's a mortgage, that's what you would want. But then they're getting essentially double collateral because they got the crypto and the property.
Yeah. Bitcoin or ETH. Yeah, I don't. But it sounds like there's a very low amount for the liquidation. Probably the liquidation is to cover any loss in value or something.
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying is,
Niblet says.
Go ahead.
Niblet says, but if your debt is priced in ETH and ETH moons, that would be a painful mortgage. No, well, I mean, you still get the value of your ETH long term, right? So if you pay off your mortgage, now the question would be is whether they allow you to leverage more of your ETH to pay off more of your mortgage. That would be cool.
And is it denominated in ETH or denominated in dollars?
I'm assuming they denominate it in dollars.
Yeah, because I think that's what maybe Niblets is saying, that, if it was pegged to the number of ETH at the start and that goes up, that becomes a bigger payback. They got to have something in there to hedge against that.
Yeah, I would assume
with everything else, I would think they have that covered somewhere.
I would think so. So I went ahead and reached out to the founder of DeFi Llama today. I don't know if he'll DM me back, but I was like, dude, you just need to sponsor our shows because
we're always talking about you.
We talk about your shit all the time. And why don't we just make it official? Let's consummate this. We'll put your brand on. You be the only sponsor. You drive traffic to us. We'll drive brand for you. We'll use your tools all day, every day. You can tell us guests you want us to interview, new protocols you put into the DeFi Llama. I'll interview them on Mission DeFi or on DeFi Lunch, whatever. Because new tool, TVL breakdown by smart contract language, and this to me is really cool because I'm always interested in the languages and how they're doing. Right. So Solidity is currently at 62.37 billion. Viper is at 6.45 billion. Rust, so Solana, 2.17 billion. Cairo is at 402 million. I don't know what Ride is. I got to look up Ride because I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's got 201 million. And Bitcoin Script has 110 million locked in. And Bitcoin Script is pretty limited.
Do you think it's those BTC DeFi plays where Script is being used?
Maybe, but I mean, it's so limited. There's not a lot you can do with it. Haskell is at 74.81 million. I think there's one blockchain that's dedicated to writing code in Haskell. I don't remember what it was. C# 59.353 million. Clarity is 11 million. Which blockchain was Clarity? Shit.
Well, that's what I kind of wanted to ask next. Like, what is Phantom built on?
Phantom is Solidity, EVM compatible.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Phantom can be Solidity, Viper.
That's what I was looking at the Viper, wondering that. Yeah.
Yeah. Solidity, Viper, Python to some extent. I'm not, but there is a blockchain, Algorand is Python or a Python derivative. I have no idea what Motoko is. I have no idea what Pact is. Cadence I've heard of before, but I don't know what chain. And Clarity I know I've heard about, and I've actually discussed on this show, and I can't fucking remember what chain it is. So I'm gonna look up some of these because you know me, I love this geek shit. So
yeah, no. I mean,
I'll take a look.
Yeah, I always am always excited to see C++ hanging in there still. Fucking 25 years later from when we saw it everywhere, and it's still going.
Here's the percentages. Solidity 86.71, Viper 8.92. So effectively, 96% of TVL is on EVM right there. I mean, that's just about, that 96% of TVL is on EVM. Solana's got 3.04%. Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what that means. So
Shit.
interesting. And this was something else. So I went to their recently listed protocols page, and
Yeah.
you know, the first one on the most, it's moved down, but the most recent one on the list with $2,910 is an Olympus fork on Ethereum proof of work.
All right.
QuickSwap has launched a lending protocol. That's what's cool about these pages on DeFi Llama, because now we can actually find shit that's launching new, right? Now QuickSwap is doing lending. So
I like
they never
that,
had
man.
that.
You know, I mean, that's a
Yeah.
well, you know, in a way, it's, you know, DeFi Lend or DeFi Llama Lend or whatever it was called just started doing lending. So now you
Yeah.
see here's one who wasn't doing lending before now is jumping in. That's interesting.
Yeah, maximize your yield, contribute to risk management, and create unparalleled opportunities to make the most of DeFi. So this is the QuickSwap lending page. It's interesting.
Yeah, what was the deal with, speaking of swap, what was the deal with that sushi swap story that was going around? I mean, what the hell
I've
is
got
that?
this loaded up, but let me
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm
We'll go
gonna
on
I'm
next.
gonna well,
Keep
because I'm
going.
gonna get into a fucking rant, and it's gonna piss people off because people like being assholes. But here, I'll pull up the tweet I sent. You liked it because you have to.
Yeah. Well, no, I thought I said something good. I don't like everything you put up. I
Well,
mean,
that
in the
was me
sense of,
but that
yeah,
was me subtweeting because I oh, where the fuck is it?
that looks different than. Oh, there was my. Hey, man, does any Metis Dow? I was like,
Well, I've interviewed her, and it's an impressive operation over there, but I can't find
it's
my
got a sassy look to her. You know,
yeah.
I was kind of like, I was surprised. I was like, oh, what is she, like 35? I mean, she doesn't, you think, oh, I mean,
When
I've
you're
never seen her before.
when you've
Hmm?
sold your soul, you can get whatever you want.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, piece of shit. I'm sorry for those of you that like her. I apologize, but just
Yeah, I don't know her. I just kind of was.
okay. Here was my tweet. I love the irreverence and the enthusiasm of DeFi, but some of you need to figure out you're messing with other people's money and careers and grow the fuck up, right? So the new head chef CEO of Sushi Swap, some random anonymous fucking Twitter accounts started accusing him of all kinds of stupid shit yesterday. Didn't do any research, didn't do anything else. The first thing they accused him of was scamming people in a previous project. And he came out with showing what had happened, that his partner who had hired him, he wasn't a partner like, oh, they were partners that built something together. He was hired and made a partner. His partner was actually taking money from the project, and he and the investor in the project fired the partner and paid back the people that lost money, right? The people that tweeted all this shit didn't bother to look at it. Didn't bother to fucking go back and look at it. Then there happens to be a guy in the porn industry with the same fucking name, right? And it helped their scam to the fact that the guy in the porn industry has a similar beard and mustache to the head of Sushi Swap. So when you look closely, you can see the two faces are not the same. But they were claiming that for 13 years he was a porn star, and that he was even involved in bestiality porn with a horse, right? And so they did this entire thread of this shit. And then all of the fucking immature idiots in this space start spreading this shit and adding to it, making it worse. Well, what happens? Sushi drops 10%, right? Because nobody in this space goes to fucking bother to find out what the guy's response is, how stupid all this shit is. And look, I know everybody's making jokes. I get it. Everybody thinks it's funny. They're posting pictures of horses under all his tweets. They're fucking screwing around.
Oh, yeah, that. Yeah, I couldn't figure out what that was all about. Okay, now I know.
But this is the thing, people. This is people's fucking money, right? This is somebody's career. And it's time for everybody just to grow the fuck up a little bit. I'm not saying stop shit posting. I'm not saying hold people and don't hold people in check. I'm not saying do the research, don't do research on the backgrounds of people you're investing in. All of those things are fair game. But don't just go tweeting shit out irresponsibly and not have anything to back it up and then just pile onto it and make it worse, because you've just made a bunch of people 10% poorer. You've made a protocol that's trying to recover itself. And by the way, I have no fucking sushi. So I got no bag in this. I got no investment in this. I got nothing to gain in this. So you just need to, everybody understand that. But this shit of everybody just piling on to fucking rumors is ridiculous. It's just out of hand. And so anyway, that's why I tweeted it. Because it just pisses me
it's
off.
funny. I saw that, and I saw one tweet that said about some gap on his resume on LinkedIn. And so I went over to look at that, and he does have a gap there of like 15 years. So it fed into the whole story about him like doing something else. I mean, my recommendation to everyone is if you fill that gap on LinkedIn.
Well, yeah, fill the gap. And look, if he turned out
independent
to be a porn
consultant, student, whatever.
Yeah, if he turned out to be a porn star, okay, you can talk about it and make jokes about it. But just don't make the fucking accusations until you can prove it. It's
I agree with that.
And don't pile on to it, right? Look, he could turn out to be all of the things he was accused of, but I don't think he is. And I'm pretty confident that the VCs backing him know he isn't. And there's a lot of people that have worked with him that speak incredibly fondly of him and talk about what an awesome human being he is and how much he cares about the community as a whole. So, just think about the impacts of your actions, right? Just think through what you're doing. So,
I think they probably were. It sounds like a coordinated hit, it
does sound like a coordinated hit. Yeah, I'm sure somebody fed this shit out and made it money on the short yesterday.
Yeah. So, it's like, I don't know, but to me, who are the VCs? I was thinking I know we're talking about the vote there that put him in place, and it was really like four or five wallets. Yeah. And those were like VC wallets. Or
primarily,
like
I'm sure
whales.
VC. I'm sure 0x Maki is one of them. Because he's probably one of the largest holders.
So the VCs would dig into this guy,
Of course.
at a level that none of this would have stayed hidden, because the first thing
you would hope
look at is the LinkedIn resume, and they're gonna be like, dude, what's the 15-year gap here? And you're gonna have to explain it to their satisfaction.
Which you're absolutely right. It's stupid of him not to have it in there. Maybe he was a porn star, but sure as hell doesn't look like him to me. But who knows?
No, I'm not saying he was, I'm not endorsing that. I'm just saying that for all of us, fill that. I mean, if you have gaps, you say I was, you don't lie. You were a student, or you were an independent consultant, or you were a homemaker, or you were, took a year off to travel around the world. Put it in there. Yeah. Because it shows diversity, it shows overcoming challenges, it shows like groundedness. But big gaps like that, it's trouble. And I think the people who targeted it probably saw that.
Yeah,
and used it to go after him. So that's all. I'm not saying he is a bad person at all. I'm just saying.
No, I know that. I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the shit that was going on. That it just pisses me off.
Yeah.
People don't think about their actions, or actually they probably do, and they don't give a shit. So Niblet says the flip side is an inorganic narrative piece. Price depression like this is a perfect buy opportunity. Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. You could jump in on this dip. Speaking of which, let's look at prices real quick, Joe. We didn't do that.
Yeah.
We had a nice big dump last night, but looks like it's trying to recover it.
Yeah, I was looking earlier this morning.
Down to 17 yesterday.
Well, it looked like equities were just getting crushed earlier today. I mean, Nikkei and Hang Seng had a big sell-off last night. Like, I think Nikkei was like 750 points or something. And that usually translates that Europe opened soft, and it did. And then the US, but I didn't see the same level of selling as, say, Nikkei. But that was a couple hours ago. I have not.
I thought somebody said that the Bitcoin dropped to 17, but I don't see it. I'm seeing 18,871 on this chart.
Yeah, I saw like a little deterioration there, but I didn't really see, again, we're all just waiting, it seemed to me.
Yep, absolutely.
But, I didn't see anything that stood out. Let me just look at equities for a second while we're talking about this. I'm kind of getting tired of looking at this because we're waiting on Thursday. Look, Dow's up. Let me refresh.
But that's the
Yeah,
saddest.
Dow's up 300. Dow's up
That's
1%.
nice.
So
That's the saddest fucking thing of crypto right now is that we're all sitting around. We can't decouple from the fucking Fed.
yeah,
It's like we're all sitting around waiting for the fucking Fed to tell us what's going to happen to our crypto. It's
yeah, until we
pitiful.
decouple. And so to that end, I was looking back at some of the stuff that, I've been holding on to since, we started sliding, like Geist and Matrix Swap and Sift Chain and those. And, I know Geist is a permissionless protocol, but I didn't realize that there's like no owners to it at all. I mean, it really has no interference in it. And at least that's what it's saying. And I was curious, is that true? Because that fits a criterion to me then of one of the ones like a Canto or something where it really could be an autonomous protocol.
Right.
So I would invite everybody just to look at that more. Matrix Swap, again, I you guys know I talk about all these all the time. They just launched a cross-chain feature for swaps that seems to be being received well. It looks like, they're somehow in that group with like, Router and Define and Polygon, that kind of, they're on the fringes of that, it looks like. So, keep an eye on that. But,
wait, keep an eye on this. Look at this, Joe.
What do we got? I can't see.
USTC TC Terra USD Classic is up 36%. Supposed to be pegged to $1. It's now 5.73 cents.
I was looking at that when I was holding Lunk, and I was like, oh, that's the stable. I'm like, that's fucking never gonna do anything. I was thinking that's the one that requires like the 7 trillion burn or something like that.
Yeah, it's up 83.65%.
Yeah,
in 7 days.
But look, it's going up and down. I mean, that's if you want to trade something. Again, you got to have your trade hat on.
I don't want to get locked in that shit.
No,
fuck that.
I haven't touched that one. I had the Lunk left over from the debacle. When different people sent it to me for basically shutting down protocols, and like, hey, thanks for your $3,000. Here's 10 cents. Catch you next time. And you're like, yeah, fuck you, man. but it's that kind of stuff. So I eventually dumped it, but it was nothing major. Just when I sat there looking at them, like it was in like I don't know how many zeros in a 5, and it was like, I was like, man, it's like a $3.5 billion market cap, and you look at the trading volume of LUNC for the day, and it's like $1,400 or something, and I'm kind of like, that doesn't sound right. And there's no protocols, barely any, anyhow. Wow. So watch that. Be very careful with that.
Yeah.
So I think it's the ones that we're looking at that you find a lot, Brad. The ones that don't have tokens. Yeah. I got into Zero VIX today and, put some money into it to earn some VIX, because I'm like, if these guys are hooked up with the Polygon crew and all of, the Indian crypto scene, which has a lot of Chinese and Hong Kong people in it now too, then that could get some traction. And we talk about communities. Well, you got 1.4 billion in them of Indians in India. So, that's a community.
Exactly.
And they paid, I'm not going to say they have some kind of a, buy India first kind of thing, like we hear ranted about in the US often, but they are loyal to their tech industry, just like Israelis invest in Israeli tech.
Yeah.
Indians invest in Indian tech, and they trust it better and they want to make it better. So, anything there I'm keeping an eye on. So Zero VIX is one. So in Canto, I'm like, shit, I was going to buy it last week when it was at 7, and now it's at like 14.5. And I'm like, missed that one.
Yeah.
But, missed that rush. But, there's still stuff to be going on there. I mean, they're doing stuff. So, why not play there? And that is truly decentralized, like Brad always points out. So I think that's where we are going to find these gems. In my mind, because everything else, the boring stuff's going to get gobbled up by TradeFi now, or fintech, or whatever you want to call it, as all that capital comes bridging in some way, shape, or form. And we have to keep pushing the envelope and keep finding that edge, because that's the truly innovative tech. And I just think that there are places for that that could be huge. And so just like somebody posted something recently on Craigslist, and all the companies that have spun out of Craigslist, that were just like little categories on that sloppy looking page.
Well, yeah, they've taken on those categories.
Yeah. And so like you
Were
know,
they
when that was
spin outs or were they just ones that went after those categories?
I don't know how. I don't think it was. I don't know if it was a spin out from Craigslist, but it
Yeah.
spawned from there. I don't know the
Right.
particulars, but
Right.
I thought, so there's something that was like an aggregation play that got carved up. So like a roll up kind of thing, not ZK roll up, but a roll up of businesses. And so then you see it de-rolled up. And now you have all these unique businesses doing what was being done there. So I think in crypto, there's a lot of the same. Like when you were talking about DeFi Llama yesterday, I was thinking along those lines about once they start lending, that's a business. There's like all these, just the stuff you showed yesterday, smart contract by TVL that you showed today, smart contract by TVL volume. I mean, to me, that's a slice of data that I've never even really kind of thought about. So you look at that, it's another metric to look at.
Yep.
If you're not in those top three, you have a big row to hoe at that point to disintermediate or disrupt that market dominance. So to me, that says Polygon, Metis, Optimism, Arbitrum, and all the other ones that are, those types that are going to dominate. So look, that if you're not there, then you got to make a really big case as to why you're better. I don't think Solana makes that case myself, but
no, I don't either.
I don't either. Things like I'm just bringing up kind of industry analysis stuff or competitive analysis. You have to really think about when you're looking at things. And I think our best service is really looking at these cool ones on the edge, and then helping them come to market in ways that adding our bullshit input. So it's there's a lot of good stuff out there.
Hey, real quick, I want to give shout out to Javier Eng _ on Twitter. We quoted his tweet thread yesterday about Treasure DAO. And we discussed him yesterday. He was excited that we had mentioned him on the show because he's actually calls himself a trusty helper of Jason Choi over at the Block Crunch. And by the way, the Block Crunch is one of the podcasts I listen to regularly. He has really good guests on, great insights. He's an investor. Really, really good stuff. But Javier's research work is really good, and he does some really good threads. So I encourage everybody to go over there and give him a follow. And just wanted to give him credit because we did not acknowledge it was his thread yesterday on the show.
Good job. That was good stuff.
This is an interesting story. The EU Commission is putting out a request for proposals for Ethereum DeFi monitoring. So they want a real-time monitoring tool, which there are dozens of them that exist that they could use off the shelf or as a service. That will allow, but it'll allow them to alert on illegal activities and other things. And at first I was like, oh, fucking idiots. And then I thought, wait a minute. That makes sense. There was a quote in here from Circle's Circle's head of EU policy and strategy, who said the capability of regulatory bodies to automatically monitor compliance by reading public blockchain data could drastically reduce the need for market participants to actively collect, verify, and deliver data to authorities, right? So it could dramatically decrease the reporting requirements. And it goes back to that thing that Niblitz was talking about. Maybe very slowly governments start to go this way because they're first trying to track criminal activity. And then they realize, wait a minute, we can help people report their taxes, or we can help people do 1, 2, 3, or 4 other things. Maybe the first step is this regulatory monitoring that then says, wait, we can do more, right?
Wait. I just got to make sure I heard this right. Brad, Mr. Decentralized, you're saying governments can come in and help you with your taxes?
No. What I'm saying, did you read Niblitz's post in our Reddit?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So that's what I'm addressing. So what I'm saying is if it starts with regulatory, right? It's all public knowledge. It's all blockchain. It's all out there. It's transparent. That's our strength. If the regulatory guys start using blockchain for monitoring for illicit activity, then maybe the next step is gradually things start to happen in government where blockchain is used for other things, right? And that may be, hey, rather than you having to fill out and report all of your shit related to crypto as taxes, you submit your wallet addresses to us and you can set up a stream for automatically paying your taxes out of the transactions as they happen. And then you don't have to go through all that bullshit at the end of the year. Now, these are not my ideas. These are Niblet's ideas, but they make a ton of sense. So what this quote from the Circle head of strategy in the EU made me think of is maybe this is the first step. If you reduce reporting requirements, right, because you can track illicit activity and you can alert a protocol of something amiss, then you can go the next step, right? Well, how do I reduce tax compliance issues? Oh, I'll give you my wallet address because I don't want to file my own taxes. I'd rather it just be, part of the process. I mean,
Part of the
it's up to everybody
or something. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just automated. Boom, 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 boom. And if I want to, I can pay it on the fly, right? I'd rather have that hit on the transaction than the hit at the end of the year. And maybe they'll get much more tax collected if they do it in real time via streaming. So anyway, I just thought this was very interesting. At first I thought, oh, a bunch of idiots, they'll fuck this up. They'll spend a fortune, blah, blah, blah. But, the data is there and the tools exist. So it shouldn't be too hard for them to implement this.
Well, I think to your point that, I was kind of thinking of a slightly another application that, when the government gets comfortable with that sort of, okay, using these types of, I guess, scanning tools or monitoring tools for DeFi, for AML, anti-money laundering, the terrorist stuff, and the know your KYCing people, then it could go into other areas. Like they'd be, hey, wouldn't this be great if we did this for elections? And because they got comfortable with this because AML KYC kind of fits in that national security narrative too. That's pretty high stakes. So if they get comfortable using it in that world, then they're going to get comfortable using it in other worlds that aren't quite as high, impactful in it that way. So, one could be elections. Others could be, I was thinking about, with healthcare, something with healthcare and genomics.
Pharmaceutical supply chains. You could be doing all kinds of things.
So, it gets them comfortable with it. Because, there's a good point. Look, next pandemic-y thing that happens, you're going to be wanting to monitor that, those supply chains like that at the outset. So there's a lot of applications that these groups might start looking more favorable to. So that's a great point.
Liquid Niblet says, how much tax do I owe? Guess. Okay, this much. No, go to jail. That's our system now, right? That's our existing system now. Then he says, IRS wallet will be written in COBOL.
God, that was man, it's funny because I think it was Fortran in COBOL, and then I think Pascal came along.
That's fucking hilarious.
And then it went to like the C's and C++ and all that kind of stuff. But that is an old one, man. That was the old punch cards.
If we ever find another Niblets, we're gonna have a DeFi lunch open mic night where we can have our comedians get up and do their bits because he's funny as shit. That's great. Speaking of Niblets, remember we were talking about messaging systems? He has just like collaborative community opened it up in the Mission DeFi Lunch Reddit. His entire idea for a messaging system for crypto and DeFi.
Holy shit.
Yeah, man, this is fucking awesome. So I would encourage everyone to get in there. I gave it a brief run through yesterday, but I mean, this is a legitimate product need in the space. And it'd be really cool if collaboratively the team, the community could jump in here and let's help him define this or help him get better ideas around it. If he wants to build it, that would be really cool if we could help kind of make it so. So anyway, Niblets, thank you for trusting all of us in the community with your babies, with your ideas. And I promise you, I will get to feedback and thoughts on this stuff, but it's really cool that you posted it up there. He says, huge market for COBOL programmers these days. Oh, that was Eamon that said IRS wallet written in COBOL. Yeah. Sorry, Eamon. And he said, yay, buddy, got to build that sweet, sweet Fed chain. That's great. So everybody go give Niblets your feedback on this idea because it's something I've been wanting and been thinking about quite a bit. I've actually spec'd out some notes about a messaging system that helps protocols communicate with their holders and people that are interested and invested in it instead of having to deal with fucking Discord. As he says, what did he say? Projects use noisy and inconsistently accessed channels for mission critical comms, leaving many ill-positioned. Twitter is too noisy. Its algo can't be relied on for just-in-time mission-critical comms, and Discord is just a giant bag of cats. Yes, it's a giant bag of cats shitting in every direction.
I
That's what.
can't, I never can get the Discord, man.
I'm
It's
in
like,
there. I'm on there every day, and the only thing that saves Discord for me is the inbox feature. That's not available on the app. Only available on the desktop. But that's the only thing that saves me. Anyway, thank you, Niblets. I encourage everyone to go check this out. It's at the r/Mission DeFi Reddit page.
I'll go in.
Cool. Oh, Scooter thought that maybe Pathfinder was your handle on Twitter had to do with ZK Sync Pathfinder, but he did let us know that the Across Bridge protocol has announced airdrop eligibility, and he told us we should go all check it out. So this link will be in the show notes. You sent me the link, Joe. Here it is. The link will be in the show notes for you to go over there and maybe do a little bridging on Across if you like. I don't know. That's up to you. But looks like an airdrop may be inbound for these folks. So thank you very much, Scooter, for sending that over. He also made me aware of, whoops, where's my Reddit Rabby? Sorry, guys. I wasn't organized this afternoon. I didn't have time to get my shit ready.
There was Brad. I saw. Go back to the picture here.
Hold on. Let me finich what I'm on here. Hold on. I got to find this because this is actually important. Of course, I can't fucking find it. Okay, listen. Oh, James, you're Scooter? Holy shit. James Strickland is Scooter. Dude, sorry about that. I never made that connection. All right. So there is an exploit. Robbie added swaps to their wallet. If you have used the swaps feature in Robbie, go to their Twitter page and do the you can revoke access. There's an exploit on their swaps smart contracts. Go into the Robbie app, go to security, go to tokens, and then search on the smart contracts that they posted in their Twitter handle. There is evidently they can drain your wallet, and Robbie did a shitty job of communicating it and then getting the smart contracts addresses out. I'm actually pretty disappointed because I love that product, but their communications on this were just shit. But you can go here to it's Robbie_IO. If you're a Robbie user, I've already done this. And then there's a thread here that shows the wallets to revoke. And there's also a thread that they copied in that shows you where. Go into security, go into token approval, and then you paste each of the addresses from the smart contracts into that interface for each of the chains that you may have used with Robbie Swap. So be careful out there, boys and girls. Okay, news. Joe, you wanted to talk about this dickhead.
Oh, right? I just thought that, again, I mean, I don't really, dude. I mean, does anybody really think this looks cool?
Yes. All of the idiots that follow and worship this guy like he leads them as God. I don't fucking understand people. I really don't understand people. Your need to worship an idiot is, to me, just astounding, humans. All of you humans. I
mean, it's just flabbergasting to me that, whatever.
Not to mention he's too fucking old for this shit. I mean,
and a little portly too for those little body glove suits for my taste.
You're already an embarrassing human being because you're scamming your followers, and now you're worse because every day it's the same shit about how much money you pissed away on shit with brands on it. I don't get it.
Well, I get it if you're young.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't ever get it.
No, I mean, because look, some of the brands are worn in other, like hip hop culture and things like that, or just, professional sports culture, whatever you want to call it. But not in that ensemble. It's not all. And then the gun case, I'm just like,
I don't like any of it. I don't like any brand. I don't like paying to advertise your brand.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm talking about that, well, let's just say, rappers and stuff like that will wear gear like this and they're young. And, you could say it's stupid or whatever, but I get it why young people would do it because, they're aspiring to something and they've sort of attached that as something they're aspiring to, I guess, rich. But this guy is, I don't know, man, it just comes across as a clown to me.
Well, and it works though. That's the sad thing. You got 270,000 followers, most of them investing in the shit that he puts out that is complete garbage. And it's pitiful. And here's the irony, right? You've invested in his shit. You've listened to him. And then you watch him wearing your money in this way, in this sad old man, as Euphoric says, overinflated ego way. And you're still investing in him. You're still following him. You're still giving him money.
What does the chart look like on Hex?
You deserve to get burned. You deserve to fucking get burned. Sorry.
Well, I threw it out there because it just seems so absurd to me. I just want to see what Hex looks like.
I own the world's largest diamond, quickest Ferrari, and most expensive Rolex made. 27 million charity, 10 million watches, 3 million cars. And people are investing in Pulse Chain and his Hex shit. It's just, oh my God.
Yeah, his 1 year chart's not looking too good. Well, he's down like from 40 cents to like a nickel or so, or 3 cents maybe. Yeah, I don't, while spending all that money, to me, it's that you kind of need to think about that, what messages are you sending to your investors? Eventually, they're going to go, wait. I mean, I guess I know nobody's an investor and blah, blah, blah. It's whatever. But, your community stakeholders, let's put it that way. I mean, it's like you're letting them down. I don't know. I think you always keep it tight to the vest money-wise until you actually are generating positive cash flow before you go out and be Mr. Flamboyant. But, I don't know. Nobody does
this is just a societal problem in general.
Yeah.
What is this? Niblet says 270,000 SIM cards and a Chinese farm follow him. Nah, dude, because I have taken a trip down this fucking rabbit hole and it's so depressing because there are real people making real videos lauding him as the hero of the world. And it is pitiful and sad to watch. I mean, maybe he pays them all, who knows? But it's just
well, and you set yourself up for such a fall.
Yeah.
When you behave like that, you set yourself up for such a fall because if he ever does fall, the rest of his life, everybody's going to be like, hey, yeah, he's the guy who used to look like this, while he's out in front of a Mickey D's with a paper cup asking for change. It's like, it's just not, everybody wants to see you fail. I mean, except for his community members, because they get jealous or they get pissed or they get angry. I just think you got to, I know it's kind of a blend between maybe an influencer and a crypto guy, but still it's like that they aren't really the same thing anymore, I guess.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
But anyhow, let's move on. You already have. Thank you.
Ryan Selkis is still engaged in the political world, and these are his 3 recommendations for Congress. 2 Democrats, 1 Republican, which shocked me because Ryan's a pretty hardcore libertarian. But good to see him make the list. So it's good.
I don't know any of those. Cortez Masto sounds familiar, but I don't know I can't remember where that person's from.
I believe Texas on that one. And I have found Richard Hart's followers.
What do we got?
There we are.
Oh, Nevada Senate.
No, right here. These are his followers. This is Richard Hart's followers. It's actually a guy that plays Pokemon Go, but it's still funny as shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is pretty. I mean, I thought, get annoyed at people for like looking at one phone sometimes. I bet it's a guy, right? Yeah, I bet his wife's super happy, man.
Oh, his wife loves that shit.
Oh, he must be making tons of money, though, so what the fuck? She's probably very
happy. You don't
happy.
make any money on Pokemon Go, do you?
Oh, you said, it's Pokemon Go. Okay, sorry.
That's what it said in the article. Wait, let me see.
Yeah,
Pokemon Go, Grandpa's bike evolves to hold 64 smartphones.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of got that Peacock-esque look to it. The iconic gamer
his grandson taught him to play Pokemon. He said he only plays the game to catch and upgrade rare Pokemon and rarely participates in raids or game battles. Anyway, okay. Yeah. Not crypto related, but funny as shit.
Hey, one other thing before we go on to the next thing is that, I was thinking more about chain binders in our discussion yesterday.
Yeah.
And what I really started thinking about is, since it's, I don't know if everybody got it, but that 774 ETH that's in reserve there at the top, that's the backing for the NFTs, that came from when people bought the BND token to spin the Gotcha machines. So that's all sitting there. So it physically backs the NFTs. So I started thinking, about the, like, in a way, you're kind of staking ETH when you buy the BND and then get the NFTs, because it has a floor value. So you are actually kind of staking it.
Well, I mean, theoretically, you could get NFTs that have no value.
Well, right? Yeah. Some are no value, but I mean, when you have them and they're backed by it, it has real value. So you start thinking what you really have there is almost like a stable NFT, pegged to ETH or backed by ETH. And I wonder, has anybody been talking about stable NFTs? But, everybody with a stable coin, they always think, $1 or something like that. Well, but is there any shit pegging to like BTC, like a BTC thing stable, or a?
There are stables being launched on Lightning related to BTC, and Dyad is a dynamic NFT based stablecoin. That is coming soon.
Forgot about that.
Very soon. Remember those guys?
So, yeah, I forgot all about them. I have to look at those videos.
So that's coming out pretty soon. Yeah, you can watch my show where I interviewed Joey Roth, who's brilliant. Guy has a ton of past success. I'm trying to see if there's any liquidity for BND. I haven't been able to find anything. There may be an interesting like strategic play there. Was it QuickSwap where BND was, or was it Cometh?
It was Cometh. I know there was a pool there, but you could also buy it on Uniswap on layer 1, as well as Cometh on layer 2. But I think those all went down at some point when Doki Doki was getting, well, at least the Zuki and Doki did when they're getting ready for that next transition to the next project. They pulled all those out of those liquidity pools, I believe.
Yeah. BND's currently $3.06 on Cometh. And it opened at 5, right? Wasn't it 5? Or
yeah,
6?
And
no,
it ran up to like 20 something, and then everybody dumped because they wanted to get that 5x. And a lot spun, obviously.
Right.
Yeah. But the trick was you bought it on the dips to spin the machines. You didn't buy it when it was up high and use that, because it cost like, what was it, like 10 BNDs per spin or something?
Yeah. I'm trying to get the machine opened up. The links are broken on the Chainbinder site. Anyway, so interesting. There could be a play there. I'd like to do the math out on, how many NFTs you'd have to buy and what the odds are of getting. I mean, he's got the odds in the machine, so we'll look at that. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I always thought the odds worked for me. But what I'm getting at is now you have an NFT that, is pegged to a real thing. I mean, that thing moves, of course.
Right.
The stable's not really the right word. And pegged is part of it. Backed by ETH is part of it. Collateralized by ETH, I don't know. There's different things. My point is that when we talked yesterday, whatever that is, that could be a whole new category of product.
It's
because
true.
Again, you can then use that to anchor other NFT collections. You could park that and earn yield at, places like, DeFi Llama Land, or, anybody else who's doing that with NFTs. So, and that's a real one. It's not based on, but all NFTs are based on to date, but things like this are based upon really subjective value in comps. What were the last prices? Now, if you like a picture because it's pretty, then, price isn't the issue. But all of the lending functions are all really based on comps of previous sales at the lowest sale point. So it doesn't really unlock the true value of it. Now, if someone comes in as a collector of that artist, obviously subjective comes on top of that.
Sure.
But the other ones are just that.
Yeah.
Just subjective and comps. This has actually real value. And I just think there's something there that we could figure out on that model for, not just as a protocol and a funding mechanism, let's say, or what we talked about the other day, but there's something more, there's something bigger there, because it actually puts a real value on that NFT, a hard value.
Yeah.
That nothing else gets. And, I invite everybody to think through that, or find stuff that's doing that, or find other projects similar to that, because I'd love to know about them.
Yep. Joe, I got to drop pretty quickly. I wanted to correct the record yesterday. We showed the article yesterday that showed Decentraland only having 38 active users. Both Decentraland and Sandbox came out to dispute the data. Yes, after that article came out, not our article, somebody else's article. Evidently, the article was based on smart contract interaction, and not based on actual users. And there's another data source called DCL Metrics that can track other data for Decentraland, the number of people who log in, the number of people who move out of a parcel, et cetera, et cetera. So Decentraland has monthly active users of 56,697. So divide by the 30, I guess, to get to your daily. 1,074 users interacting with smart contracts in a month, 1,732 minted emotes, 6,315 sold wearables, 300 creators received royalties, 161 created community events, and 148 DAO proposals. So let's take this number. If you're one of those monthly active users, hold on one second, bear with me. You are worth $22,928 based on the current market cap value of Decentraland of $1.3 billion.
If you all own the tokens, right?
I'm just making shit up.
Yeah. No, but it makes sense. No, I mean, look.
Well, each of those users is worth to Decentraland.
Yeah, no, I mean, look.
Eamon says some Decentraland person shaking their head saying, we're so early. These DeFi bros don't even know how we use this stuff.
There you go. Look, I remember when everybody was in buying land, and, we were looking at projects there. It's just, there's so much to look at. I mean, I love the idea of building, metaverse versions of, say, your existing office facilities, and then interacting in that office from an at-home environment in, various metaverse type environments. I think all that stuff makes a ton of sense. But I don't know which one's going to win. You know what I mean? And so when it comes to buying land, or, setting up a casino in the metaverse, or a gambling hall, or whatever, I mean, you could run anything out of there. Escort service, weed delivery. You can do tons of things. Voting, church.
Joe's going full in on creating the dark web metaverse.
No. It's a friendly place.
Uncle Joe's world. Our logo is a white van.
No, it's a friendly place. It's a friendly, safe place. Okay. But the idea is that how do you, which one is it? Because I don't know how they're, I think they're all going to interrelate by being like chains that pipe across to others, and you're going to get mirrors, and it's going to be more multiversey than metaversey in my mind. But it's a hard one for like me to get to thinking where, I still have that physical limitation in my mind. Like, how many people are really going to ever be fully in there?
Yeah.
Just hanging out. And, and I'm probably wrong. I mean, it's probably going to be everybody. But, it's like, we see how that ends up in a lot of movies. It's like, I think Matrix is one I'm thinking of right there, and a few other ones that people are not really, it has to be some of kind of blending immersive into real world to me, or I just don't see it as something that's going to be like the 9 to, the where you are all day, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
It's still an application. You got to go. I know.
No, well, not just that, but anyway, look, I want to give credit where credit is due.
Absolutely. Well done.
Awesome that they have 56,000 monthly active users. I think to get to where their valuation is, they're going to have to keep doing exactly the kinds of things you're talking about. It's like, look, how do you make this sticky? How do you make people want to keep coming back? But it's obvious that things are happening there. Definitely should.
Look, it's, I look at it just real quick, like when .com was going on, I was looking at a lot of projects, mid 90s. And everybody was like coming up with these things. Oh, come to the website and order the thing, and it'll be shipped to you. It was all like things like that. It was stupid shit. Yeah. And then it got to where I figured out, well, wait, projects you want to align with are the ones where the consumer interaction and fulfillment and development all occur in the digital world. I mean, obviously now, today, that's, of course. But back then it wasn't. People were trying to like blend different things in. And so to me, I think it's the same thing here, that we haven't quite figured out the applications, or I haven't seen them yet, where it makes total sense. Yeah. And those areas where people are really going to dig in deep. And, I could see them, ordering food, the restaurants in there, hanging out. We talked about it in one project, real world interactions within these metaverse platforms where you do something there and it happens in the real world. So I see stuff like that, but of course, it's a little clunky right now. Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to end up being something really cool. I just don't know what.
Niblet says 13th Floor is a great virtual reality movie. Thank you, Niblets, Eamon, James, Alas, aka Scooter, Euphoric, Sean. I guess that's it for the day. Thank you all for participating, for helping us out. We love you and appreciate you. We love all of you that listen to us. Please take a minute to rate or review us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It just takes a couple of minutes and it'll help us a lot. Links to that are in the show notes. Join the Mission DeFi Lunch Reddit at r/Mission DeFi. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate you listening. Please spread the word and let everybody know about it. If you're watching us on YouTube live, please subscribe and hit the little bell so you get notified when we have new episodes coming out. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandmother. Joe, thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks for joining me too, Brad. I always enjoy chatting with you, and thanks for all the interaction from the community. It's really a good time. Thanks.
It's really cool. Thanks. Take care, guys.